Dude, it's so good. It's like so like the fact that it's that simple and it looks as good is crazy. What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the second episode of, I don't even know what to call these still, just Talking Shop or something like that, but Talking Shop with DPs. This is my good friend, Tanner Jackson, incredible DP here in Utah. I'm really excited to look at this project. I remember that there was a point where I think it was when I first started to get to know you, and I remember looking at your website, and this was one of the projects that I was like, damn, like this is like really, like he really, because you just graduated college like
yeah
a year ago.
I was a baby.
Yeah, like that's what's crazy, like because you're what, 25?
So I'm 26.
Okay, 26, but just got out of college a year ago.
So I graduated April of 2023.
Okay,
so I've been
so
out for about 2 years.
About 2 years now. But you made this when you were a senior at school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like in making incredible stuff like in college, and if this is like your starting point, then yeah. So
Well, I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah.
And this is an awesome project that I was given to in my senior year of school.
okay.
And it was a brief given from the NBA, and they came to our program at school, and All-Star Weekend was happening. This was 2023, like during All-Star like weekend, and they were wanting to do this branded short film, and they needed a crew or people to come and pitch to them some concepts. So I got together with a group of buddies of mine in school, and we just came up with a treatment and sent it against probably, I don't know, like 20 other production companies that bid for this. And it was a lot of just back and forth, and we ended up going all the way to the NBA.
Dang.
And then they chose us in the end. And we get a call, and we're just like, hey, you guys have like 2 weeks.
Dang, bro.
To just go and shoot it. And it was so nuts being like, okay, we got to start prepping, like getting all the gear, getting all the people. It was nuts. But
was this a paid thing?
Yeah. So
that's huge. That, I mean, like the fact that it's a paid thing as well for the NBA to pick you, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. This was a decent budget. I think the budget was $30K or something.
Okay,
and
that's
then,
pretty good.
Yeah, it was kind of freeing for me to like not have limitations of like, okay, well, we trust you, Tanner, go shoot this on whatever you want. And to me, I was like a little boy at the candy shop. I was like, okay, well, I have some obviously opinions on what it should look like.
Yeah.
So we ended up shooting on the Alexa Mini LF.
Nice.
And then we used the signature primes.
Nice.
And we used, I think, the full like signature prime set. So like we had like 18 through like 100.
Jeez.
So it was nice. It was like my first time ever having budget to like spend on rentals like that. So
that's awesome. We're not gonna watch the whole thing from front to back, but I will leave a link down below to Tanner's website, and you can actually go watch the full thing there. Let's dive into this. So nice big establishing shot. Did you guys replace the overheads?
No.
Okay. Hey, dude, like.
So I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
Nor I don't think the laundry would allow us to do it. The bulbs in there were like, I don't even know. This is an old laundromat. I actually really liked the ambience it's giving, and like the ways that it's kind of like hitting the wood walls. This laundromat was just so unique, and it showcased, I think, Utah. Like you can see on the walls,
the mountains and stuff. Yeah.
But the lighting, we wanted to play into the overheads, and we were kind of dealt with those cards.
Sure.
So a lot of the coverage that we have, and this is the wide where we're just seeing everything that it's on.
Yeah.
But you'll see like in the coverage that we will scrim off some of these overheads and then bring in some sources to really light our talent. But yeah, we just kind of blacked out some of those overheads so that we could isolate them in the coverage.
Sure. So I know this was a while ago that you shot this. Do you remember what the color temperature was of the lights and like what you set your camera to?
Yeah, I think in there it was 4,700 Kelvin.
Okay.
And then I think we went on our key lights. And by the way, for most of this, it was just the 22Cs.
Yeah.
And we literally put them on top of the washers.
That's awesome.
And just had it like very like, I don't know, just shitty rigged like on the washer. And
Yeah.
then the lights, I think we played a little bit warmer, like 52.
Okay. Okay. Any like, did you guys do any sort of blacking, like behind camera, like any solids or anything behind camera?
For this shot, it was not really needed just because both of these days that we shot, this was the laundromat was 2 days. It was Saturday and Sunday, and we had shot everything overnights.
Okay.
So behind us it was just pitch black, and there wasn't like
nothing
street lights or we weren't seeing like headlights from cars like driving past. So it was pretty good.
Sick.
Like,
so let's start with this wide shot.
so I think camera's just like we're right above the washer, it's just locked off here, and then this was interesting. We didn't do a whole ton besides, I think on the overheads, I remember we blacked out like those overheads that were like right here, like on the right side, and then on the left side here. And then they're just kind of being lit from this top overhead.
Okay.
And then we like had some neg here, and then on the far side, and then I think behind us, we had a source, like I think it was a 22C or something, but it was hitting enough on both of them. I think we actually had two, one here and one there, and we just had them like kind of lower intensity just to give a little bit more fill there. But it was really just the light and the way that it hit the walls, the top of the washers, like the dark wood.
Yeah.
It was just already so dark.
Oh yeah, when you got that dark wood and then those light tan like machines, like you're already getting like color contrast and just exposure contrast there alone.
Yeah, now I'm remembering we had a tube there that was just giving us a little bit of edge like, on her.
Okay.
And then for him, I think that we didn't need a ton because the TV was giving a lot, and you could see that in the close up, just like the blue like little undertone, and then you can see it like a lot here.
That's cool.
And for this, we just brought our 22C, and I think we just had it on a one sheet of diffusion with the grid.
Okay.
And then that was our key. We brought in some neg on this side, and then like literally just played the overheads, kind of uncovered it a little bit, so it hit like maybe a little bit the back of his head.
Sure.
And then the front we blacked out pretty much everything in front of him.
Dude, it's so good. It's like the fact that it's that simple and it looks as good is crazy. I mean, I love that too. I love that you're getting that sheen there and there. That looks super nice just to give some texture.
Yeah. And I think honestly, these are reflections from either the overheads or the actual like keys.
Yeah.
But
really?
But I actually think
it looks like the overhead lights.
It actually kind of works in this shot.
Oh, 1,000%.
You can't really tell what it is, and like the TV's going, so he's like, I don't know. It's a little bit of a, what is it?
Yeah.
You know?
See, I mean, I like that you, because I think some cinematographers may not like that and would try to kill that, and I don't know why you would. Like that feels, again, it like adds texture to it, and I don't know. I mean, it's like, yeah, you're in a freaking laundromat with like overheads, and you see the overheads on that establishing shot. So like, it's fine if you see that.
It could be the overheads, it could be the TV, or it's just, I think with the dark wood, it was hard to not put something on it as far as light goes, because you can see like in the top left here how dark it is when there's nothing. Like there's no ambience and it's just like dark. And so we wanted to see some of that like dark wood. and it just gives it so much character, I think.
Let's go to the coverage. So you start on this side of the line for a little bit, and then at some point it jumps, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Before I thought it was a little bit sooner than that. Let's so the coverage on these spots. Let's start with hers.
Yeah.
It looks like, did you have the camera just like sitting on top of the washer?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So hi-hat, cameras on the hi-hat. And
That's
then
awesome.
it's, I was like, how are we gonna get the coverage here? Because it's hard to make the frame with putting sticks where they're at.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like get some of the washer on the foreground.
Sure.
So you can see how, like in the right third, like you see the washer and you have, you know, the hamper, the laundry detergent, and then it goes her, and then you see the washers. And it was like the composition meant so much in this compared to just figuring out how to easy get like over the shoulder on tripod and just get their coverage. I wanted it to feel very photographic and feel like they're doing their laundry and you're like kind of from the washer POV almost. Like, how do you get that? And this is the only like awesome composition that I felt really did that.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, I love it because you've got that midground or the foreground of the washers, the midground of her, and then the background of the dryers and stuff in the back, and then way in the back of the window. Like, there's a ton of layers, and then having the basket there, like, there's just so many layers to this, and I'm curious. Let's see, I actually want to go later whenever it switches to the other side of the line of just what you decided to do. Okay, so right here, you're like looking down the aisle a little bit more. Okay, so here's where it switches the, okay. So, I mean, you still get it. There's still a ton of depth there, but that first shot, like, I feel there's just way more layers to it.
And I didn't want to go back to it because in the story, it's a pinnacle moment when they go into playing basketball with each other, and like going back to that coverage felt like we're going backwards. And I want it to be a little bit different. So I try to figure out just getting sticks up. Okay, this is probably the only OTS shot that we could get here that works. And it needed to be different than what I had on the washer because now they're not washing laundry anymore. They're bonding. They're having this like really intense emotional conversation. So I wanted to get a little bit closer and like really you're feeling that.
I feel like that over the shoulder as well helps that too. Like it feels like they're like now connected and now that you can see them in the same frame together, where back here they're just separated besides like the wide shot, which they still feel like separated. They don't feel like they're connected at that point.
You got it.
Also, lenses for focal lengths. What were you using? Like, what were you using here?
So this is a 35.
35. Okay.
Yeah. I felt anything tighter wasn't gonna fill these compositions the way I wanted to, and like a big part of the laundromat was getting the washers in there and the wood and feeling like you're seeing a lot more because it's such like a tight space.
Oh, I'm sure.
And
it feels big. Like you definitely made it feel like a large space.
Right. So I wanted to play into that. All of the coverage we just played at 35 for these scenes, but like I think when you get more later on, we switch to a little bit tighter. So this
feels like a 35 maybe still.
This is a 35.
Okay.
Yeah. It's hit or miss with, I think, figuring out, do I go tight for certain moments or do I go wide? And I think a lot of it feels wide up until his coverage where we're just, he's remembering these moments and why the shirt is very important in this and why he has these stains and how they haven't won a championship and later on we get a little bit tighter where it's more so focused on him remembering like these beautiful memories and stuff. And I think here is when we
Okay.
switch. Yeah, so we're like this I think was even tighter. I think it was like a 75.
Okay. Because I mean, signature primes, you get in some amazing, I mean, they're like the best. So it doesn't feel like, I mean, you've got that crazy compression in the background, but it still feels, it doesn't feel like the camera's like super far back. It still feels like it's very close.
And the goal was to make it feel tighter towards the end of it, because there's such a like a climax and how she resonates with him towards the end. And so everything is just wide up until this point. And when it gets closer, it gets more intimate. The conversation's a little bit more depth. And it was figuring out the language in that and how to go each scene a little bit tighter.
Sure.
But still playing it like you're seeing a lot in it still.
Why, I mean, I can guess why, but why did you decide to put on a 70 rather than just move camera in with a 35?
Her facial expressions are really important in this scene. And it gives a subtle nod to this old generation of him describing this. And there's a moment where she she agrees how we like they haven't won anything, and I want it to feel like she's giving this, like maybe someday, like, you know, they'll win. And that moment needed to feel so intimate.
Okay.
And so the only time that it's tight on that or tight on her is that shot.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I like that. So just really to be able to see her expression, really get intimate. That's cool.
Because it's like everyone that's watching this feels for her.
Yeah.
And you're going through this journey through her POV of what it's like to be a fan living in today's world.
Okay.
And a lot of the fans are young fans that resonate with her. So this moment was such like an intimate moment that I needed to really have just like her face, like giving like that subtle nod.
That's cool.
And like that was really important.
That's cool. While we're here, I just want to, because we're getting so close, we can see some more of the details. So eyelights, there's a ton of eyelights. And I'm guessing one of them is her key.
Yep.
And then the rest is just like the overhead lights from back behind camera right, maybe?
So I think I'm pretty sure it's the TV. It's the TV right there. You see how it's like a little bit greener?
Yeah.
That's the 22.
This right here?
Yep.
Really?
And then you can see like two overheads.
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay.
And that's kind of what it's doing here. It's just not reaching.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting. That's interesting that...
But she's looking at the TV. So she's like watching this moment on the TV happen.
Okay.
And then she looks over at the TV and then she looks at him and she's like, yeah, maybe one day. And that moment, like you can see like just a lot of like, I like glimmer.
Yeah.
There's hope.
That's awesome.
So it worked. I mean, I kind of didn't necessarily want to have 3 different light sources in their eyes, but I think it wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
But I wanted to have eye light.
Yeah.
And so it just worked. This one was one of my favorite shots.
Yeah.
75, super compressed, but like I mean, look at what the primes are doing in the back.
Like, it's crazy.
The shimmerness from the washing, like the glossiness is just so cool.
Crazy, dude. And like those highlights, those specular highlights are nuts.
And that's just part of having the 75 on. It's like you're gonna get just some really cool textures in the back. And I think just the way that they felt, just like the sharper, we wanted to see like a lot of detail in the face, and like we wanted to have all of these textures just really pop. And I felt like the more sharp with really nice like contrast would help
That's so sick.
make their skin tones pop. This like setup right here, you're seeing a little bit come from the overhead.
Yeah.
Right?
So is that just the overhead, or is that like a tube or anything?
That's a tube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a tube that we put up, and then we cooled it down a little bit, had the warmer key.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
That's dope. Negative fill, left side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We had a little, I think we had a 4x flop,
Okay.
and it was just one. And then we killed the overhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like there isn't, if the overhead, it was nice because we could control it.
Sure.
With like some Duve scraps.
Sure.
And then, you know, we just clamped them to the top of the lights.
Yeah.
And it was, I think that whole light above her was killed. And then, yeah, it was
nice, dude.
Super simple.
And then you said, was it here that for these shots, the F-22s were just sitting on top of the washer as well?
Yeah, there's BTS that we have.
Dude. Okay. Well, dude, I think that's I think we covered everything. Like it really was a beautiful piece, bro. Like good job.
Thanks, man.
I remember, like I said, when I saw this, I was like, dang, this is way good. And the fact that I didn't realize that it was a paid thing and stuff. Like the fact that it was a paid thing with the NBA and the Jazz, that's sick.
Thanks, dude.
So, yeah.
It was a crazy experience.
Good,
and
bro.
I'm super stoked with the turnout.
Good.
I think that everything that we did was as far as I wanted to go with it.
Yeah.
I feel like if I could have gone back and done anything different, it's kind of those little moments that I talked about.
Yeah.
But everything, like, I'm just super proud of, and I still am using for references and like pulling things for like other projects that, you know, and that's the cool part is like this piece is definitely more of the direction that I want to go.
Sure.
And
to have that already under your belt and in your portfolio to like basically begin your career with is awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's a piece that still will, I think, live for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Until something is like freaking, you know, can blow this out of the water, then yeah, this could be a demo reel and a piece for your website and whatnot for a long time. So
thanks, man.
If so, you are on Instagram. On the last one, I had to tell people Sam's not on the Instagram. He's only on the website. But your Instagram handle is Tanner Jackson?
Yep. Just Tanner Jackson.
Tanner Jackson. Go follow him there. You also have your website, tannerjackson.com.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, go follow him there. And like I said, if you want to watch the full video and any other Tanner's work, go to his website and you can watch it all there. But make sure you go follow him. Incredible DP. I'm excited to see what you do as the years go on, bro. Like, especially as you get into your 30s, bro. Like, oh man, you're gonna be crushing it, dude. So
4 years, 26. So
it goes by.
Yeah,
it goes by fast. Turned 32 this year. Feel freaking old, bro. But I honestly I feel like now my career is truthfully like I feel like I spent my 20s really learning a lot, and like now I feel like I'm starting to get like a really solid foundation. So, and you're way ahead of me of where I was at 26. So like when you're 32, it's just gonna be like you'll be like the Mason Prendergast. Like
I think that there's a lot of value in the timing of things too. It's like I see so many just people that are older than me that are killing it, and I'm like, man, like I wish that I could be at their level now. And now is definitely, I think, the, you know, drive for a lot of people is seeing the results, and there's no secret sauce. It's just work, do the work that you want to do and do as much of it as you can, and the results will come at the time that it comes, but it takes time. Yeah. And so
that's sick.
I'm excited for the future of things. So
yeah, dude. Well, stoked for you, bro.
Thanks,
thanks for watching, you guys. And we're gonna be doing, like I said, I'm gonna be doing one of these every single month. So thanks again, bro.
Good stuff.
Thanks for being here, dude. See you guys.